We're live! And we got a couple of people already. Let's see, get myself set up here. There we go.
Lights came on.
Lights came on.
Lights came on.
Oops.
Lights came on. Lights came on.
Oops.
Lights came on. Lights came on. Lights came on. That goes on forever, doesn't it?
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Now. Alright.
Probably my glasses are right in front of the microphone. I bet.
Well, okay, so hello everybody. Stephen and Walter live. And let's see who we've got. Anybody yet? Nobody's chatting yet, but everybody should be soon. So let us know if you can see and can hear us okay. We got a like. Thank you very much. Here we come. Ilona's here. Hi, Ilona. And Catherine's here. And Sue and Buster 15 Wardle. Hi, chaps. Well, hello. I think you're new, are you not? Where do you come from, Sue and Buster? And
Buster.
should I be calling you Buster? Or should I be calling you Sue? Or would you prefer something else? Let us know. Sandy's here. Hi, Sandy. Brenda's here. Hi to all so far. So we'll just give it another couple of seconds here before we get into things. And I'm assuming everybody can hear us okay and see us okay. This is a new wine we're trying today for the first time.
Is that the Hardy?
Yeah, it was the cheap one.
Kind of tastes cheap.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, get what you pay for. Mel's here. Hi, Mel. And Susie Q is here. Hi, Susie Q. And Jennifer is here. Hi, Jennifer. And Jody is here, which is Miss Purple Potato. I did get her name right? Yes, Jody. And, Sue and Buster says, yes, new, Sue's fine. And Dorset UK. Great, Sue. Welcome. I'm just going to write that down because I like to keep a note so I can call people by whatever they want to be called and know where they're from because we have quite an international group here. It's Sue, and she's from Dorset, UK. Great. Ilona says, yes, I can see and hear. Good. And okay, so we've got about 13 people on, so that's great. So a lot of different things to talk about today. Hope everybody had a good week. And if you're asking about what we're drinking, we are drinking a really cheap wine we got this afternoon at the LCBO. That's our Liquor Control Board place where we, in Ontario, buy wine. And it's Australian, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is an Australian one, and we've been big onto the Australian wines lately. And not because we're going to Australia, but because we're going to talk about this in a little bit later, but because the Australian wines are cheaper than our Ontario wines. And this is the wine. It's called Frontiera.
Yeah.
And
it was on sale.
It was on sale. And where did they make it?
I don't know. Australia.
Yeah, okay. It's 2017, but I wondered if it was
maybe
like...
it's on the back.
Wait, this isn't Australian, it's Chilean.
Oh.
Why do they have it in the Australian section?
That's why it was cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's from Chile.
Okay, so now it's not Australian, it's Chile. That's why it's cheap and it tastes
And if I had known that was from Chile,
we wouldn't have bought it.
We wouldn't have bought it. Because I don't like Chilean wines.
And that's why it tastes
That's why it
the
tastes
way
like
it does.
crap. Well, I've got ice in mine, so that's killing it right there. Well, there's not much flavor to it. Well, anyways, there we go. We thought we had an Australian wine.
Yeah.
Well, that was dumb. They stuck it in.
Yeah, I should be careful there. Well, we buy, I don't know, we may have touched on this before, but in Ontario, we still have this archaic system where we have to mostly buy our wines from the government-run store. But they are beginning to sell stuff in grocery stores now. So.
Hi, Anita.
But it's still sort of licensed by the government, so.
Yeah, Jennifer says you can't buy alcohol in Indiana where I live on Sundays. They're trying to get it changed, though. Yeah, we've been able to buy it on Sundays for quite a while.
Our stores are open Sundays now, too. Well, I mean, they have been for quite a while.
Oh, yeah, for quite a while.
But for a long time, they weren't. They were, U.S. stores were open on Sundays, but a long time ago, well over 10 years ago now, I think.
Oh
Probably
yeah, I
15
guess.
years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Where
With
we
it.
are allowed Sunday shopping, so.
And the hors d'oeuvre of today is called leftover nan, cut into quarters. They were mini nans, topped with some kind of cheese that hadn't gone green yet in our fridge. A slice of ham that I had made a ham earlier this week, the endless ham. Some olives, sliced olives, topped off with just a touch of Parmesan cheese and a little sprinkle of cayenne pepper. How are they?
Good.
Oh, well, that's pleasantly surprising. Considering this is garbage hors d'oeuvres. And I mean garbage hors d'oeuvres, I mean whatever I can find to scrape and put on a cracker. Okay. So, we talked about the wine, that. All right, big news. Some of you may have already seen it, because I did a little video and put it up today. Excuse me, my mouth is full. I had a little problem with my sewing machine. I've been working on my quilt, and my walking foot, which you need for quilting, doesn't walk anymore. It's broken.
It's a limping foot now.
It's a limping foot, yeah. So I went to the place that I've talked about before, Ultimate Sewing, which is a great store where I buy all of my stuff for quilting and everything else. And she said I needed to bring the machine in, though, so she could fit me up properly with the proper setup. So I said, okay, fine. And she couldn't do it the day after, so we went in on Friday. Friday or Saturday?
No, went on Saturday.
We went Saturday, yeah. Yesterday. Jeez, how time flies. So, in the meantime, I was still carrying on, and my automatic threader fell off. So, I said to Walter, why am I, excuse the language, I'm not say that word, but why am I frigging around with this cheap piece of crap that I bought at Costco for $189 a year ago? I want a real machine. And of course, Walter immediately went into, like, we knew that this store sells Shinomis, but he goes right in and does all the research, and he found videos and everything, and some of these machines, they practically sew for themselves. Anyways, we went in, and I said to her, she says, oh, you've come to get your walking foot, and I says, actually, I'm upgrading. Sell me a sewing machine. Well, she lit right up real quick. So we sat down, and the first thing she asked me was, what's your budget? And sewing machines are not cheap. And I knew for the kind of sewing machine that I would probably want, we were talking probably in around $3,000. And I told her that, I said, $3,000. She goes, lots to choose from in that price range around. So she took me to this one machine, and I fell in love with it immediately. And it's a great machine, and I've done a little video about it. And I talk a little bit about that video as well, something new I'm trying.
It was below your budget too.
And actually, it didn't come in at 3,000. It was below my budget. It came in at about 2,500. Then there's tax, of course, and stuff like that. But it comes with everything. I don't have to buy separate quilting things for it. It is a quilter's sewing machine. It's got over 200 stitches. I thought it was 300, but we'll just
Oh no, it's 200 plus the alphabet.
Oh yeah, it does alphabets too. It does monograms and stuff like that, and you can string them together. You can spell out words. It's almost like an embroidery machine, but it is not an embroidery machine. So I've been having a lot of fun with that, and an expensive toy, yes, but you get what you pay
It's
for.
very well built.
It's very well built. Has a great warranty on it. It has a 15-year warranty on it.
Wow.
On the parts and stuff. Plus, it's got that's the extended warranty. It comes with it, but there's also a 2-year one that's it doesn't cover the needles and stuff like that. But then why would it? But it came with a big table extension for it. Tons of the feet for it for all kinds of different things. It's just a great machine. I'm just orgasmic about it. So anyways, it's worth the money. It's heavy, a lot heavier than the old one, but that's okay because it's
That's
metal.
because it's metal construction.
Those Brothers sewing machines, now that I've had one, and mind you, it was the bottom of the line type of one at Costco. Well, not the real bottom of the line. It had 50 different stitches on it too. And I thought it was not too bad a machine, but it's so cheaply made, and as things drop off it. So, anyways, she even said this machine. She knew that I did scrapbooking and stuff like that. She says this is great for your scrapbooking and stuff. Now that's kind of interesting because I have done things where I've sewn paper and that kind of thing. Um, but I have heard that that's not something you should really do with your sewing machines. She said it's not a problem with this machine. She was showing me this sucker can go through layers of thick denim. Um, it's a really good machine. So I'm glad I've got it, and you'll hear more. Let's see what people saying here. Um, Jennifer says, thankfully we live right on the state border and can just run across and buy it on Sundays. My husband thought it was the craziest thing when we met. He isn't from Indiana. And Brenda says, sometimes garbage hors d'oeuvres are the best. And Jennifer says, you're probably their new favorite customer. Oh, in fact, they offered me a job. Can you believe it? She said she was looking for somebody. She says, just keep it in mind if you're interested. Well, first of all, you know how much I know about sewing. I don't know a lot. I'm just learning. So, no, I wouldn't feel comfortable, trying to sell things and that for people. I don't think I'd be comfortable cutting other people's material because I'm not really a great straight cutter. But I said to her, well, thanks, keep it in mind, but I like my freedom. I mean, I worked for a couple of years after I retired at the scrapbook store where we live, and it was okay, but I just found it ate into my life. And it's not like I needed to do it because I needed the money. All I was doing was giving them back the money anyways because I was buying all the products that they had. In fact, some things have never changed. I still do that. But, no, but I thought, well, really? They got that much confidence in me from just a little
No,
time?
I think it's because you handled some of the customers.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. I had one customer that was being a little bit annoying while she was trying to show me the machine. So what else is being said here? Jennifer has a Janome. It intimidates me. It shouldn't. At least the one I've got is very intuitive, I have found. I am not one for really reading a manual from cover to cover until I need to, which is not a good thing. It came with a CD or a DVD, actually, that got you started. And the rest of it really is very intuitive. It's not hard to use. I found it easy. Anita says, I knew you'd get one. She says, yeah, well, I said to the lady last week when I was in there before I made the decision, I says, yeah, after I come back from Australia, I think you'll see me in here because I think it'll be time for me to buy a really decent machine. She says, well, we can help you. We can match you up with a machine for your purposes and everything like that, no problem. And I said, I'm sure you can. And then I come in 2 days later and go, yep, okay, buying a machine. And I did.
And she had them in stock too, which
Yeah.
was kind of surprised. But
I'm one of those kind of people when I buy something, I have my mind made up. I want it now. I don't want to wait for it to come in and that kind of thing. And I was pretty much prepared for the fact that I'd probably have to wait, and I wanted to finish my quilt. All I had was the binding left to do, but I needed the walking foot. So I was just going to bite the bullet and get a new walking foot for the brother if I had to wait for the other machine. Well, didn't have to wait. There it was in the box. She even picks it up and takes it out into our car, which she really didn't need to do because it's a big box and it is kind of heavy. But yeah, I mean, you can't. A1 service at this place. Just they've impressed me to no end with their service.
and they also have a lot of staff too, which is for a small store. I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
small of a store, but it's got tons and tons of supplies and material and stuff. And for a smaller type store, they have a lot of people working there too. Like just the day that we were in on Saturday, there were 3 people working in there. So
Yeah, I think there were 4.
there might have been 4. Yeah, actually there were 4. There was that young white guy.
Yeah.
There might have been her son.
Yeah, it might have been her son, yeah. But anyways, Anita says it will last you a lifetime. I hope so, but you
How
know,
much more lifetime do you have?
long enough to make a bag to bury you in. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Catherine says Congratulations, you'll really be sewing now. Yep. Jennifer says, gee, I'm not surprised. I think by this time next year you'll be teaching at the fabric store. Yeah, I don't know about that. Anita has a brother, but I'd hardly use it. And Jennifer says, the threading that I find difficult, it's like you need an engineering degree. Actually, the one that I bought, very easy to thread. You thread it in seconds.
I don't know, I thought sewing machines are pretty much similar in the way you thread all of them.
Well, this was very similar to the
Yeah.
brother. One thing that's nice about this new machine, though, which is really cool, you know how you usually have to pull up your bobbin thread? Now I say usually, maybe I'm just because of my brother. That's the only experience I've had really with a sewing
Well,
machine.
I think that my old mother's one, you had to do that.
Well, yeah, but your mother's comes from what, the 60s?
Yeah.
Oh, well, a little old, isn't it? But this one, you just put the bobbin in. You don't even pull the thread up through it. The first time you start, as soon as you start sewing, it pulls it up and it does it every time. And it's got an automatic cutter. Oh, this is so cool. You're finished your row or whatever you're sewing, and you just push a little button and it goes chop chop. And it cuts all the threads off. It's just amazing. And you can even set it up, so, and I have it set up now, so that's an automatic feature. So when you come to the end of a row, when you're finished, you push a button to let the machine know, yeah, I'm done now. It cuts the thread, raises the needle, bang. It is so nice. It's got 2 spool holders on it as well. It's like orgasmic. Let's see, just thinking about the same. They're talking about the threading. And Sue says, I agree, Jennifer, I cannot thread my serger. Okay, sergers are a bitch, because I've got one of those. And it took me a while to figure out how to thread the serger. Now, mind
And
you,
it's an older
it's an old
serger.
Janome. And actually, this place where I bought this sewing machine, they fix and recondition machines and things. So after we come back from Australia, I think I'll take the serger in and have it looked at to make sure everything's running on it properly and get it cleaned up and that kind of thing. Because I do love using my serger, too. And then Jennifer also says, oh, hi, Cindy. That's the problem, is having to pull the bobbin thread up. It's all jammed. Yep, this one, not a problem at all. Let's see.
That worked okay with your binding and everything?
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, it worked beautifully. This morning I finished the quilt, people. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at it. Tomorrow on my vlog, I'm going to put it on display so you can get a better look. It's probably awkward here. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm damn proud of myself. There are mistakes, and Walter found them because he's Dutch and he lives. See, I told him today, if I was absolutely perfect, what would you do for a hobby? You wouldn't have anybody to criticize. So
Well, no, I'm just saying that I noticed some things that were a little awkward.
only you tried to notice them. You're one of those kind of. Where's Waldo?
Well, my job was like that. I had to look for problems in computer programs.
Well, I don't look for problems. I know where the flaws are in this, but that's okay. Oh, I forgot to add the last part of the video on it. Put the whole video I was doing of this in my process. Oh, note to self, must do that. Anyways, here it is, people. Without further ado. Well, it's hard. Could you hold on to that end of it,
What?
please?
Sure.
There, yeah. So I can. So there it is. It is it's about 35 by 35 inches. It's square. It has 25 blocks in it. The border, the one thing that I thought I was going to have the biggest problem with, but you know I practiced, and that was doing the binding, came out beautifully with mitered corners, the whole bit. Here's the back. You can see my quilting. Hold it, please. So I don't know. I used a variegated thread that has pretty much all the colors that are in this piece in it. So I don't know how well you can see the back with the quilting, but it is there. Now the quilting that I did was just what they call stitch in the ditch, which means you go between each one of the little blocks and within them. And I'll tell you one thing. There is one type of block I never want to make in a quilt, again, not at this size, and that's these ones down, where is it? Shoot, can't find them now. Ones with the little, oh yeah, they're like this purple block down here. See the little tiny squares? Those are a bitch. to quilt around, because you got to quilt around each and every one of those little things. By the time I got finished quilting it, I kind of learned how to, go around, make it a little easier. Not like doing a row, cutting the thread off, stopping the machine, all that kind of stuff. But I am very pleased with it, and I don't care what anybody says. I think it's damn good for my first effort ever, even though it does have a couple of minor flaws. Those aren't flaws, they're embellishments. So anyways, I see that you people all like it. That's nice, because if you didn't, I'd have to kick you off the blog. Ilona says, I'll bet you get a new serger when you get back from your holidays. No, this serger is a good serger, and
Actually,
it
it
works
was one of
well.
the top of the line Genomes at the time. Mind you, it's older now. So, because my sister always bought really expensive stuff. So, and she probably didn't use it a ton. So other than the fact that it's older, it probably is still really in good, a decent machine. The only thing is, it doesn't have the fancy automatic threading and stuff like that.
That would be nice,
Yeah.
but I think I can hold off on that. But you never know. I like machines. Sewing machines and sergers are machines. So
Actually, we're finding out that there's quite a few guys that do it. So
yeah, and we found a quilting guild that's in the town next door to us, and they meet the first Tuesday, I think, of every month. So first time I can go to one of their meetings won't be until we come back from Australia, so it won't be until about April. But I do want to go because I'm finding the whole history behind quilting and the different styles and things, and that's just what they do at these guilds. They talk about this kind of stuff, and then they socialize and whatnot too. So I'm thinking I should get involved with something like that. It's my new obsession. Thanks, Susie. She says, "Oh my God, it's beautiful." And thank you everybody for your nice comments. Guess nobody wants to get kicked off. I mean, you see, they can all be nice, and they can all say nice things about it. Then there's you.
I say nice things about it.
Yeah, you think, yeah, nice things.
It looks nice.
And Jennifer says, Stephen, it doesn't look like a quilt done by a beginner. My mom and aunt helped me, and they're very experienced seamstresses. That's why I'm impressed with myself.
Yeah, he did it all on his own.
I did it on my own, and no one taught me how to do it. I looked in books, and I looked on YouTube, a lot on YouTube. And so, like, I'm sure I'm going to take a formal class, series of classes actually, when we come back, and we're making a quilt there. It's got kind of a zigzag pattern. And I'm sure I'm going to be taught some things that are the right way to do it, because I probably did it the wrong way. And that's why I want to take the class, for one reason. Plus, I'm sure there's lots of tips and tricks that make your life easier that I don't know about. So,
Yeah, that's always good to, I don't know, to start off with something, and then before you get into any really bad habits, then you can sort of learn things that you think are hard to do, and then maybe they can show you something that it's easier to do.
yeah. And let's see, it was just something here. Sandy says, excellent, Stephen, your piecing is so perfect. No. It's a very forgiving quilt pattern in many ways. Although I took my time cutting the pieces. It's mathematics and geometry, and I sucked at geometry in high school. But you've got to have things straight. I learned that very quickly on some of the smaller little things that I was doing, that I experimented on. So,
but still, that's still good for your first effort. Like, I mean,
high praise from Walter. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm proud of it, and I'm looking forward to making
and
others.
actually, it's also good if you take different classes with different teachers, because different teachers will tell you different techniques.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. So, Walter is a lot like my husband, always looking for something. Yep. Yep. I don't know, your husband doesn't happen to have a Dutch background, does he? The Dutch seem to do this all the
That's
time.
it was my job to do stuff like that. I was a software developer, and I also had to fix problems that were in programs, and I would always be looking for problems in programs.
Yeah.
So I carry that over to everything else that I do. So.
Yeah, okay, fine. Whatever. So anyways, quilt's done. What's my next project? Well, you know that fabric that I had made for my art journal pages. Well, I'm going to make a bag, but I'm making a sewing bag, a bag that I can lug my stuff with me when I go to these classes and things like that. And I'm going to make it out of that. So should be a breeze with this new sewing machine.
Especially that it sews through thick.
Yeah. So, anyways, and I think I have mastered how to get square bottoms, if I remember. Now that's the other thing. I got to remember how I did it. I only made about 4 different bags, and then until I got that right. But anyways, so let's move on to. Okay, I mentioned last week that I had ordered Aramis from that place, Fragrance X,
Yeah.
and wasn't sure, if I was going to get the real stuff or knockoff. Well, it arrived at the first of the week. 2 bottles that I'd ordered, original Aramis. And that was a bargain. I mean, 2 bottles, 240 milliliters, which is the largest bottle of the cologne, which I pay usually 110, 120 for at Holt Renfrew. I got 2 bottles plus the shipping for under $100. I think it came out to about 80 some dollars, or 90, maybe 91 or 92. So for 2 large bottles, I'm going to smell nice for the next few years. Okay, you might want to try it. Yeah. So, anyways, I did put that link up on last week's vlog to them. So if you're looking for, they do all kinds of perfumes and colognes and things. So if you're looking for something, I would check that out because they were really reasonable. It's in US dollars.
And you didn't have to pay any duty or anything.
Nope,
No.
not a thing. But if a lot of you live in the States too, so it'll probably be even cheaper for you for shipping and things like that. Plus, I had to do the conversion to Canadian dollars, and that $91 I said that I spent, that's in Canadian funds. So I highly recommend them, and they follow up with emails and stuff to make sure you're happy and the whole bit. So really, it's a shame about their name because it doesn't generate a lot of confidence in you,
Well, I don't
Fragrance
know. I
X.
sometimes wonder about those places if they have like older stock or something, but it looks.
This looks fine.
Mhm.
Smells fine. Keeping it
Well,
in the
maybe
dark.
they don't have the markup that's required for a big storefront. So
No, maybe. I don't know. Well, they have those places in the mall that
Yeah.
are usually run by.
yeah, but they still have a big
Foreign
markup
people.
because they don't have. They have a storefront, right, in a mall.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But anyways, I'm impressed by it. Um, glad that you got the colon.
Colon.
Bargain. It's the auto spell checker. Yeah. Okay. So Walter had lunch with a bunch of retards. I mean, retired people. So where'd you go? What was that like? How'd that happen?
We went to I think it's a chain restaurant called Baxter's Landing, but actually I don't.
Bastard's Landing.
Baxter's Landing.
Bastard's Landing. Okay.
Actually, it was pretty good. I had sort of chicken pizza with salad, and caught up on things. That's where I learned about this Trillium Guild for quilters, because one of the ladies that retired from my work sits on the board, and I was asking her about where she goes to buy her material and things like that, and she said pretty much everywhere, but she liked the Ultimate Sewing Store. And then I also found in conversation a couple other people at the group that were into sewing as well. So sort of picked their brains and found out some more information on other things. And it's kind of nice to see these people again from where I used to work and catch up on things. And actually, you learn a few new things too. So
Yeah, you also learn why you're happy being retired.
yeah, that's true. You find out what's going on back at work, and you're glad you're not there.
Brenda has a question for you. She wants to know what kind of smell good does Walter wear? Ben Gay.
At the moment,
The essence of old man.
I don't wear anything every day.
Oh, you should.
If I go out, I like Calvin Klein Eternity or something like that. I'm not that picky. I don't have a set smell.
And Jody wants to know, Walter, were your friends all techie people like you, or from different departments?
The people that from work are most of the people that are going are that are on this retired group are all from pretty much the area I was in. They weren't all techie people, but they were like in administration or management or support areas. So no, there's only two of us that are actually developers that are in the group. The rest were all support areas. So yes and no is the answer.
I don't get
I
invited.
mean, it's still the same company. It's everybody from the same company and they just started this group a year ago because a lot of us suddenly retired. So
Like rats from a sinking ship,
Yeah.
we all got off.
yeah,
real quick.
so and I know pretty much all these people that I've worked with them and everything. So it's kind of nice to catch up with them.
So, well, that's good. I don't get out for lunch with other people. There is a retired teachers organization, and when I was just about to retire, I got invited to one of their lunches, and all I saw was a sea of a bunch of old people, and I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't know most of the people, and although had all been teachers, I didn't bother to join it.
Yeah, it might be a little different in your situation because I mean I worked in an office setting, so you could always you'd pass by somebody's desk and talk to them or stuff. And these are all people that I actually somewhat socialized in the office with. So it's like old home week when we all get together type of thing.
Hi, Maria. Yeah, well, actually, Jennifer is asking, Stephen, how did your teacher's dinner go? And actually, that's the next thing I was going to talk about. I think what you're referring to is the RMG luncheon that we had here, and RMG is the Robert McLaughlin Gallery. That's the art gallery we volunteer at, as you know. And it was the department that I volunteer for, the education team. And actually, the lunch was great. They came, I gave them a little gallery tour of my craft room. I think I kind of blew their minds on that. I don't know if I blew them in a good way or not, whether they came out there thinking that, yeah, not an artist, crafter. I'm not sure. Although I told them that I came up with a new term. I am not an artist, I am not a crafter. I'm a creativator. That is a person who brings innovation and inspiration to life. That's what I am. I'm a creativator. And I think I mentioned that on my vlog this week as well. But it was a good lunch, but we got into a discussion about how we are being underutilized as educators now that they have this new person that's kind of taking over and has changed the curriculum and is doing some new things and whatnot. And actually, it was a good discussion, but I think we got across the point to the coordinator, who kind of oversees all of us, that we're not really particularly happy right now because we feel like we've been dumped. So anyway, she took this back to her boss, this one lady that's doing this, and suddenly we got an email inviting us to come later in the week to go over the new curriculum with them and see how it works. So I went. I was impressed. The new curriculum is really good. It's strenuous. It's very active. I mean, for the kids, they're going to love it. And they do. They've already been running this. I think it's not going to be for everybody. All of the people that we have in the group, some of us are ex-teachers, are retired teachers. Others aren't. And this is definitely something that, for me, I'm very comfortable with. And for a couple of the other people that are retired teachers as well. But a couple of the other ones are not comfortable with this. It's out of their comfort zone. And we all, regardless of what our background, we all need to be trained in this. And I'm not sure how they're going to go about that. But I really think it's a good program. Actually, I felt sorry for the lady who was presenting all of this, because one of the people in our group got a little bit belligerent with her, because she's working on her master's degree, and of course this is part of her master's degree because she's doing a master's degree in education, and I have a master's degree in education, and I had to do similar. You have to, for your master's thesis, you have to have something that is based in research and has a practicum sort of to it, and this is what hers is. But he was kind of making her sound like you're just doing this for your own self-serving needs and blah blah. But that came from the fact that he's very uncomfortable. It's out of his comfort zone. Um, Kind of made us all squirm a little bit. And I think I may have given him the impression from the discussion we had during the lunch that that's the way I felt. And yeah, to a certain extent, I knew what she was doing. She was killing two birds with one stone, sort of a thing, but that's how it works. I did something very similar way back when I did my master's as well. It's the nature of the beast. But I do think it's a worthwhile program. But I don't think we're going to be involved with it this year. Maybe come September, they'll have more of the kinks worked out and that, and then we'll be back in doing whatever we're going to do. But anyways, the lunch went very nicely, and I think everybody had a good time. So we'll be saying, hey, he says, wait until they see your quilt. They won't be so snooty then. Well, they weren't really snooty. It's just that some of them have this definition of art, and it's the fine art. My definition of art, as you know, is much wider. It's like if you
Yeah, like I mean, a quilt to them is more a craft.
quilting is art. And someday I want to be able to get myself to the level where I can actually create my own quilts using my own designs and things that are modern. Right now, I'm sticking to the traditional to learn the ins and outs. But it's art. It's all art. If you create something, if you sew something, if you paint something, if you carve something, if you do scrapbooking, whatever, it's all art because you created it. And I've been working on them to get them out of that mindset that art
Yeah, but
means
the art galleries
paintbrush.
seem to have this other viewpoint.
Well, they're an art gallery.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
So,
That just by definition alone is
Yeah, I
like
know.
snotty. But anyways, I'll keep working at them. Bev says, Stephen, I love that term. Creativator is what I call myself now when anybody asks me what I do now. I hope you don't mind, but I've even put it in my blog and gave you credit for the term. Not a problem. I don't know how I came up with it. I woke up in the middle of the night. I had this idea with the definition. So I wrote it down in my in my cell phone so I wouldn't forget it and used it. Now, maybe subconsciously I picked it up somewhere else. I don't know. So sure, share it. I don't have a copyright
It's a
on
word.
it. It's a
There's
word.
no-
Yeah. It's in my dictionary coming out next year. Blandisms for all occasion. Utterly tasteless language. Catherine says the big craft show going on right now, Barbone, etc. There
Yeah.
is called Creativation 2018. Yes, let's talk about
Well,
Creativation.
maybe that's where you got it from. Creativation.
Maybe. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's just that link. Maybe that was a subconscious link. But anyways, let's talk about Creativation because I always follow it every year. And
Smart. You talk, I drink.
yeah, well, so what else is new? So I've been watching the videos all this weekend as well, and still many more. And I always like to do a shopping list, a wish list of things that I want. My list is not very full this year. I am not seeing anything that's really turning my crank. Either it's because I've been around too long into the crafting world and I've got everything. I think the problem here is that a lot of the stuff that they're showing has been done before. They're just repackaging it. Some of it is old stuff they're bringing back up. For example, Tim Holtz has a new line from Ranger called Letter It. Rubber stamps in a brush font, ink pads, archival ink pads, mini ones like his Distress, but these are the archival ones, so they're not water reactive. Perfect Pearls, which is a mica powder, been around for centuries, and that kind of thing. And they're putting them in these new packaging and grouping them differently to make it sound like it's something brand new. Now, it may be new to a lot of people who are just entering into the craft world, but for those of us that have been around for a while, it's not new. Um, I mean, I've got nothing against them repackaging. Sure, they're trying to make sales. And like I said, it's maybe a way for some people who've never heard of these products to get involved with it. Um, but I haven't seen anything yet so far in the videos that have really made me get really excited. Gotta have it.
No, Tim Holtz did bring out a few new things, didn't
Yeah,
he?
Tim Holtz has some new rubber stamps. I love his rubber stamps from Stampers Anonymous, and actually I have some of those on pre-order. I've got the wine glass ones, the Blueprint series that he has for wine glasses, beer glasses, and cocktails. Of course I have those. Yeah, go figure, right? Um, and of course he's got 12 new colors of oxide inks coming out, so I've got those all pre-ordered. And his stencils. I have every one of his stencils, and I get them all the time. And those are things, though, that I use on a regular basis, and I do love them. But I mean, something that's really going to turn my crank, like, oh my God, never thought of that. Gina K is doing foil with thermal web. Foil is so 2 years ago. It really is. Heidi Swap came out with foil and her mink machine and the whole bit. And yeah, it's kind of cool, but how much of that are you going to use? And it's been done. She's a little late on the boat here for the foil business, I think. It was one of those trendy things. It's not so trendy anymore. What else I saw? Oh, now here's something I just saw this afternoon. Dremel. You know, they're the people that make the little rotary tools, okay, for doing things with rotary tools. We have a knockoff Dremel here.
Yeah.
Never use it. Well, they've come out with these kits that have the tool, and then you can like engrave on copper mugs, or you can do a wooden cityscape, burn it into wood. This is just Dremel trying to get into the crafting market. Well, I've got nothing against them trying to get into it. It looks kind of like a neat idea, but it isn't really new. It's just repackaging. So I don't know what you people think if you've been watching them. I know that Anita has been watching them, and she's been going to a YouTube channel called Scrapbook Wonderland, and the lady who's presenting from that, her name is Alice, so she's Alice from Wonderland, kind of a thing. And I've been watching some of her videos as well. But right now, I can't say there's anything that's turning my crank.
They also had that like dynamo gunner.
Oh yeah, that was We Are Memory Keepers, or We Are Memories. We Are Memories. Okay, they're the people that make all the punch boards, and I have a lot of their punch boards. You know, the ones that make boxes and envelopes and all kinds of other things, and banners and pinwheels and stuff, and planner punches and all that. And I just ordered from them back about a month ago. Should pick it up this week actually. Should be at the store. That does squares. You can punch out squares, but you can alter the size of the squares, and you can kind of punch them anywhere on the paper. And the reason I bought that was because I do something, or have done something, a class in doing mosaics with little squares of your pictures and things. And I kind of developed a system for doing that, but I was thinking, this might make life a little easier. So I ordered one. But they have another punch board that does tags. Okay, let's be serious. A tag is not a hard thing to cut with a paper cutter. You take a piece of rectangular cardstock, you cut off 2 corners, you've got a tag. Take your hole punch, punch a hole in it, you've got a tag. You can buy tags, and they're not expensive. Go to Staples, like one of those business office places. You can buy 500 shipping tags for like $10. That'll last you a lifetime. Yeah, what I'm saying is scraping to the bottom of the barrel. And they've also come out with another one of those stamp platform kind of things, which, how many stamp platforms do we need? We've got the Misty, we've got Tim Holtz, we've got
Stampers Anonymous.
Scrapaholics. You know, like really, they're all the same thing. Really, they are. So I'm not impressed. Let's see what people saying. Ooh, a lot of discussion here. Just bear with me for a second. Marie says it doesn't seem to be as busy as usual, and I had heard something that there were some major manufacturers that weren't going to it this year. It escapes me now one of the names of it. It was somebody big, and they weren't going. It might have been Sizzix. It might have been Sizzix. I'm not really sure. Um, Catherine says Tim Holtz has some nice 3D embossing. Yes, I take issue with the term 3D embossing. It just means they're a little deeper embossing. They are not 3D, they're just higher. But when you first see that on the packaging, 3D embossing, I know I'm thinking, oh, what? This, you can look around all the sides of it and it stands up, like this glass is 3D. Okay? So, again, it's all marketing with it. I mean, they're nice, sure. I mean, I've got nothing against them. I mean, I've got a ton of embossing folders that I never use. So, but, um, Jennifer says, I think he stole your Mike Deacon's idea with the glass media mat. Yeah, yeah, he came out with the glass media mat. Well, again, they're nice, but there's other companies that have them. And if you want a glass mat, you can go to a glass cutting place and get a piece of 1/4 inch glass or whatever, cut. That'll work too. I mean, I did that on the top of my craft table, my craft bench. I bought a huge piece of glass, big thick stuff, and I mounted it on top so that it's easy to clean and wipe up, stuff like that. Mal says, I think they are having just old stuff in new package. Everyone's copying what other companies have. Haven't seen anything I would be interested in yet. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And Bev says, frankly, I don't see anything interesting about that new glass medium mat. I just put a piece of glass over my cutting mat when I need to do anything that would make it messy. Yeah, exactly. And Catherine says, Tim has a new tempered glass art mat. Mike Deacon has one on his table. Yep. And for a while, okay, already before Tim, okay, carried on down there. Yes, yeah, he's had that ever since I've started watching his videos. And Jody says, I agree, Walter. I've noticed that too. As far as perfect pearls, I prefer twinkling H2Os. I think it gives a nicer effect. Yeah, and again, H2Os, perfect pearls, mica powders, they've been around for years. They're all pretty much the same thing, slight variation, maybe in colors, maybe in how much they shimmer and stuff like that, but it's not revolutionary. It's been there. Been there, done that, got a t-shirt. I saw that Tim is just changing the color on some tools like scissors. Oh, I saw the most useless product. Maybe you saw it too. You can buy these grips for your jewelry making tools, your pliers and that, and you put them on the handles and they're in designer colors with patterns and things. People, I know there are some people that have to have everything in their craft room coordinating in colors. I know there are people who will not buy a Cricut machine unless they can get it in a specific color because it matches their tools and everything else in their craft room. Yeah, I'm not like that. I could care less about the color. But grips for pliers, and they're not even selling them with the point of view that maybe if you've got arthritis or something, it'll make it easier. I mean, I can see it. No, that was sort of an aside. Their first thing was, they're pretty. They're so pretty. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, and Julie says she totally agrees that the mat is not that new. I have a large tonic glass mat bigger than that new one, much cheaper. Yep. And then Anita says, oops, come back here. Anita says, yay, Jelly Art's just now coming out with paints. Really, can you use any paint? Yeah, what's this with Jelly Art's and acrylic paint? It's acrylic paint. You can use any acrylic paint on a jelly plate. You don't need expensive stuff. You can go to the dollar store and use the stuff they've got there. In fact, Jelly Arts said that when they first started making their videos. You could use the cheapest of paints and it would be fine. So now they've got some kind of cheap acrylic paint, which probably is not cheap to buy. I mean, I love Jelly Arts products, their plates and everything like that. I've got quite a bit of their stuff. I do love it. But really, now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
And you said about shipping.
Oh yeah, well see, I won't order anything directly from them. It's unbelievable how much they charge for shipping. And they want they want you. Actually, the shipping actually works out more than the item you've bought.
If you're shipping to Canada.
Shipping to Canada. So I wrote to them and said, I love your products. I have a lot of them, and I would love to order directly from you when you come out with new stuff. But your shipping is way too much. And so I said to them, is there anything you can do about that? Well, I got an answer back. Here was the answer. Well, if you order a class set, I don't need 20 8x10 jelly plates. Okay, having said that, I do have 10 5x7, which I did buy because I teach that as a class sometimes. So, yeah, I invested in those. But again, I didn't get them from them directly. I got them from an art store supplier in our area. But really, a class set? No. If you don't want to sell to the little people, if you're just going to sell to the stores, then why don't you say that? Are you wholesale? But they're channeling it towards us. So, anyways, and each kit. Oh, let's see. And they have kits as Jelly Arts. Yeah, Jelly Arts has the new size 9x12. Yeah. I've got one that's bigger than that. I got a 12x15. That's the largest one. I've got one. I've got the minis. I've got every one of them in every size, with the exception of the 9x12, because that's brand new. And I probably won't get it. I don't. I hardly ever use anything beyond the 5x7 or the 8x10. Jody, and they have kits as well. Yes, they do have kits. If you're just starting out, fine. The whole problem is it's how much it costs to get it here in Canada. That's all. That's the problem. If you're in the States, I think it's free shipping. In the States, like so many things are with that. Jody says, have you used silks and do you like those? I think they come in little pods. I'm curious about those. It looks like a shimmery paint. Yes, I do have some. I haven't used them in a long time. They're nice. They're good. They're about the same as H2Os and Perfect Pearls. So, but they are nice. Although the silks, I think, you got to watch it. You want to use them because they dry up in the jar. I think those are the ones I had some problems with, and I tried to reactivate them with a little water and that didn't really work. Yeah, Sam says silks dry up fast and are not permanent. I don't like they are worth the money they charge. Yeah, I don't think they're worth the money they charge. Yeah, mine dried up too. If on sale, maybe get them. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, I'm a little disappointed. I'm gonna watch more videos, but I'm not really excited. I mean, I used to sit and make
I
lists.
watch the videos too, but I can. I mean, I don't do a lot of this stuff he does, but
Well, you
I
don't
know
do
I'm
any of it.
aware of it. So I haven't seen anything too new
No.
on those videos.
Oh yeah, and you were gonna say, We Are Memories
It had the dynamo
have
thing.
dynamo guns. You know, dynamo guns, the ones you have the plastic tape in and you turn the dial for the words, to spell it out and you punch them and it comes up through. Those have been around since the 50s in different styles. And now they've got one. Now theirs has interchangeable discs so you can change the font if you want. And they have extra wide tape for some of them, so it's even bigger. But really, nothing new. I don't really like the look of dynamo tape anyways
No,
on
I
a layout.
always hated that.
I mean,
stuff.
sometimes it looks okay on a mixed media piece, depending on what your style is, but really? And I've got umpty million of them because a few years ago, another company came out. I think it might have been the company that was making the Smash journals. They had little tiny dynamo guns and the tape for them and everything. And I bought a bunch of them because I was going to teach a class with them. And they weren't too bad in price. So I bought a bunch of them. Yeah, guess where they're sitting? In a drawer somewhere. Never use them. And Anita says she missed the whole scrapbook craze, and I'm enjoying the papers now for journaling. Yeah, I mean, paper is something, though, that never goes out of vogue. You just get to the point where you have so much paper you don't know what to do with it. And I know that firsthand. And Jody says she never got into the colored staples. Nope, I got some of those too, and Tim Holtz's tiny attacher, which actually I quite like that when it works. It has a tendency sometimes to not really push the staples up into it, so you got to kind of tap it, things like that. So, but it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't regret buying it, but I mean, I've got enough staples for it that's going to last me 100 years, and I've got some of those colored ones, and I never use those. So, anyways, a little disappointed about all of that. And now here's something that's on a little bit, well, before we talk about it, let's talk about Walter's research. What have you found out about Australia that we need to know this week?
Nothing, because I haven't done a whole lot. I'm doing some more
Oh,
now.
I thought you were madly.
I was going to, but I wasn't really going madly about
Oh,
it this week.
okay.
I have to go madly this week, next week. But
Yeah.
I haven't found anything new. It's all stuff I've known already.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll all be new to me. He's my travel agent. He puts out the
I'm
itinerary.
compiling the itinerary for people that we know that need to know where we are when we are.
Yeah. And hopefully we don't have any problems when we're gone with those people. But anyway, so nothing new on the Australian front. Oh, and just while I'm thinking about it, next Sunday will probably be our last Stephen and Walter live from here. Because the following, we leave on the Friday, on February the 2nd.
And we arrive on the Sunday.
Yeah.
4th.
We missed Saturday altogether. So, as we said earlier, we are going to try at times to do a live broadcast every now and then and do some videos and things. It's all going to depend on what our.
It'll either be a live broadcast or we might have to do a non-live broadcast and
try
put it
to
up or something.
upload it. So, it all depends on the connections there and whatnot. So, we will try, but we'll see what happens with all of that. Okay, so. Oh, Cindy says do blogs. I don't like doing blogs. I actually have a blog that I never go to. Ironically, I don't like writing, and I was an English teacher. Yeah, I'm really not into writing. That's why I do vlogs. I like video. It's easier with it. I'm all about easy.
Plus, I don't think people would read the blogs that much.
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't.
I don't. I mean, I have some friends that
I
have
would-
blogs over the years, and I sat down and tried to read it, and I don't have the. It's funny. I can read a book, but somebody's blog, I can't read it. I just. Okay, I'll say it. It bores me to tears. You know, like. Maybe that's what they say about my vlogs too. I don't know, but I just
It's
can't.
like those snobby letters you get at Christmas time from people.
Oh, yeah, geez. I really wish we had gotten one this year so we could have done a dramatic reading. That would, I always like them for the dramatic readings of someone's newsletter. Let's see. Cindy says, I'm excited for your trip to Australia. And when Cindy says, I meant to say vlogs, so check. Oh, okay. And what kinds of food are you looking forward to that you can't get here? Kangaroo on a stick. No.
Probably nothing.
No, because we had.
We can get pretty much anything you want here except maybe kangaroo. Actually, you can get kangaroo if you go to Toronto, but.
Yeah.
But
But
no, I don't
want
think.
kangaroo.
Actually, not. I'm not, when we travel anyway, I'm not really necessarily anticipating anything new in foods. Like,
No.
I might try something new depending on how icky I think it is. But they eat pretty much what we eat here. So, I mean, there's some exceptions.
They don't do chicken wings.
They don't do chicken wings. And from what I read, I don't know if it's true, but after we arrived, came back, one thing I found that you didn't see a lot of is places that serve spicy foods. But I don't know, maybe we just didn't hit.
We may not have hit, but maybe this time because we're going to different cities,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get a better variety. Melbourne is supposed to have a really great selection of international foods there, according to what I've seen on YouTube anyway. So
We don't usually go necessarily to a place to, maybe a long time ago we went to a place to try different things. I try local beers and stuff like that, but beer's beer.
I'm more
Beer's
interested
pretty
in
much always the same anyway.
I'm
Where you
interested
go.
in the shopping. Like,
Yeah.
I want to make a big. I'm going to collect ephemera on this trip, and when I come home, what I want to do is do a big
kangaroo
canvas. Well, kangaroo poop, yeah. Hop to it. I want to do a big canvas, all in like collage of ephemera and things like that, in a mixed media type style. As opposed to doing scrapbook pages, because I am not doing scrapbooking anymore, really. I mean, that's how I got started in crafting, with scrapbooking, and I loved it.
One thing I won't be eating there is Vegemite.
Oh God, no. Oh, ooh, that stuff. I don't know how anybody can eat that. That's just. I'd almost would rather eat fish, and I hate fish, than Vegemite. So, anyways, so something on a more serious note, though, and I don't know if you've heard about it or not. Tomorrow on my vlog, I'm going to be talking about it in a little bit more detail because Mike Deacon is the one who has made me aware of this. But even before Mike, I got an email at the beginning of the week from YouTube telling me that my second channel, now I have another channel, but it's actually one when I used to work for the scrapbooking store, I set it up for them. And while I was working there, I would make little videos about new products and things like that that came in, or the classes and stuff. We didn't have much of a following on that because it's a local store, you know. We did have plans of maybe making them a little bit more elaborate, you know, tips and tricks, how to use new products and stuff. But we never really got, things just got too busy. We never got to that. And then I don't work there anymore. But I kept the channel up, and occasionally I put up a new video on there for the store. But it's been quite a while since there's been a new one. So needless to say, it only has a small subscriber base. Like I think there's only maybe 100 people that subscribe to it, and there hasn't been that many views over the time that it's been there. So YouTube has a new policy. If you want to monetize, which means make money because you allow ads onto your YouTube channel, you must have a minimum of 4,000 views in a year, and you have to have a minimum subscriber base of 1,000 viewers. Well, that doesn't affect me because I'm well over that number for views, and I am well over that number for subscribers. Now, I'm not big. I've only got 2,300 subscribers, and you know, it's not huge, but it doesn't affect me. But it affects the other channel, and that's fine because I don't care. That channel wasn't doing anything anyways. But Mike Deacon says, and he's right, there's a lot of people who are just getting into YouTube now as creators, and for craft ones, and they don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. They don't have 4,000 views in a year. And so basically they can still create their videos, they're just not going to get any compensation for it. Now when I talk about compensation, which is called the monetization, you may or may not be aware of how that works. But if you allow ads to pop up on your YouTube videos, you get a couple of cents. I'm not sure how much you get, but you get some money. And then when you reach a certain threshold, and my threshold is $100, they deposit what I've got to that date into my bank account. Now to date, I have made probably in total over, since I started monetizing, which was probably 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I've made maybe, about $400 in 3-4 years. So we're not talking here a livelihood. But like Mike Deacon says, it's sort of like a little reward and incentive to keep making videos. It's more an ego thing, or like a stroking, going, oh, I'm getting people watching this, and so, you know, it's not a lot of money, but it's something, kind of a thing. I don't make my videos, and neither does Mike, for the money. It's just a little added extra. But these other people are being cut out of that. So he's created a list of a whole bunch of YouTube channels for crafters that are on there for crafters that are in jeopardy of not getting monetized. And what he's trying to do is get people to at least go and check them out, get some views on their sites. I think it's February the 20th is the cutoff before they're going to axe the people who don't have their levels. Axe them from getting any money from them. So I'm going to post the link to Mike Deacon's site where he has all the list of these. And so if you want to help these people out by just going and checking out their YouTube channels, you'll be able to find them. I'm going to check out some because a lot of them I've never heard of either. So hey, I'm always looking for new content.
I went and checked out one. The first one on his list, and it's a lady that shows you how to draw and stuff, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, there's tons of them out there. And you know, like you said, the reason YouTube's probably doing this is because you get assholes. Like, well, you say you.
I don't know. You get somebody. Can't remember. There was a one they did an example. I can't remember his name. Is Paul somebody or another, and I guess he had 2 or 3 videos that he posted up and had thousands of views, and they were distasteful and all this other stuff. And but he didn't have any subscribers or anything like that, and they just put up a quick video and they get 1 million views, and they get compensation for that. So
Yeah, now I know I'm just about to get $121 from YouTube. The last time I got paid from them was October the 21st. It's taken me 2 months to get over the threshold, and the minimum threshold is $100 to get the when they go to deposit it for you. Now each time, because I've gotten more viewers and things like that, the payment periods have gotten smaller because I've hit the threshold sooner. And that's what I use. I use that as an indicator as to whether or not what I'm doing is worthwhile. Like, okay, it's getting smaller. It means I'm getting more views, more hits, that kind of stuff. So that's what I use it for, really, as a gauge more than anything else. Shoot, 121 bucks, loaf of bread. Okay, that's done. Or a bottle of Canadian wine, as we're going to talk about in a moment. But anyways, so I'm going to put that in tomorrow's vlog. I'm going to mention this again, and I'm going to link you to Mike Deacon's YouTube channel, where underneath the comments he has this link to his website that has everything there. I did think of copying it and putting it into my comments, but it's kind of redundant to do it, and when there's already the link there and it's easy, just push a button and you get it. So Ilona says that she's going through the list to help out as well. And so is Anita. B says, Debbie, that is, says, I dislike the ads, but I suppose they're a necessary evil. Yes, I dislike the ads myself, but at least you get the option. You can just click on the X and get rid of it. Sometimes they pop up more regularly than on others. It depends on how the person has set it up, because you do have a certain amount of choice of where they'll show up. But after a while, you just get used to it and you move on. Okay, so anyways, that's that. And all right. So getting to know you, I've had good response from that. But please, if you would like me to talk a little bit more about you, or you want to share some of your self and your craft and that, send me to my email, Stephen Bland, Stephen with a V, Bland, B-L-A-N-D, all one word, all lowercase, at Sympatico, sympatico.ca, and just send that to me. And thank you to those that have already done that. And in fact, today, I got one from Anita, and that's Cherry A19 on here. And she sent me a bio, and she sent me some pictures of some of her latest pieces, which are great. I was going to read it and just hold up. I printed out the pictures she sent me and hold them up here for you, but I don't think that does it justice. So I'm going to do a section on Anita on one of my vlogs, and I'm scheduling Anita's material for not this Monday, because I've already got another person on there, Roxanne Anderson, who's a fellow Canadian. And she's got some wonderful stuff that she sent me as well. So tomorrow that'll be on my vlog. Next week, Anita, you will be on my vlog, and that will be the January 29th vlog for that. Now that brings us.
Hey, I'm going to have lunch with Anita that day too.
Oh, a different Anita.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know you were having lunch with Anita.
Yeah, Anita.
You're just such a socialite since you retired.
Anita's just a new retiree at work, and it's a woman I've worked with for almost 40 years. So it's somebody that worked at my old company and also started at my new company.
Well, aren't you just the social flower there? Like, just social butterfly, just flittering, flittering, flittering. It's okay, I'll just open a can of something cold and eat it on the whatever.
Yeah.
So, as I said, Anita.
I don't think you'll starve to death.
I have the body of a 20-year-old. And by the way, he wants it back. I've been abusing it. Anita, as I was saying, you are going to be featured on vlog number 55 on Monday, January the 29th. So everybody, please tune into that. I'm really like doing this. And if you send me more stuff, okay, after that Monday, go ahead and send it to me anytime you want to. It's just that beware that I probably won't be able to do those kind of profiles until I come back from Australia because I just won't have the technology with me to be able to do it. But you can still send it. It'll all get to me. So I'll sort it out when I get home. So let's see. There was something else here I had. Oh yeah, Mel. She wrote me a response to my Monday vlog, and yeah, I want to share it in this venue as opposed to on my vlog because we've been talking about art and things like that. And this is what she says. It was nice to see your fabric from Spoonflower. It looks good. Interesting to see how your designer tote bag will look. And your sampler quilt looks really nice too. It is like a colorful scarf. Maybe someday you will order some silk fabric from Spoonflower and make all kinds of designer scarves, bandanas, etc. from your own designs. Silk might be quite difficult material to handle, but with your skills it will not be a problem, I think. It's a thought. I don't know. I enjoy following your progress with quilting. It's really inspirational. Every time you come up with something new, I start to think how it could be transformed to paper or other materials. In Stephen and Walter Live, you mentioned that you have some book about quilting with paper. Do you remember the name of the book? I did write back to Mel. It is a book. I'm going to start a new section on my vlog this week, starting Monday. I'm going to review some of the books that I have that I've had for years that I used when I first got into scrapbooking and things like that. And this is one of them. It's using quilt patterns in paper to create backgrounds. And I have a little sample one that I made up the other day too. I'm going to talk about that and show it to you tomorrow on the vlog, so tune in for that if you're interested. She goes on to say, your alternative term for crafter creative sounds good. I think artist, crafter, or whatever they are called are all creative people. Some just have formal training and some are self-taught. For self-taught artists, the journey is usually long as they need to learn all things through the hard way. But I think all people have creativity and ideas, and it's something you don't learn at school. It's not so long time ago when art done by women was not valued at all, and they were not allowed to have training for arts. Now those skilled women artists are highly valued. Same thing with photography. For decades it was not considered as art at all, and now you can see photography almost in every museum and gallery. Times are changing, and who knows what is considered as art in 50 to 100 years from now. And after all, every one of us has a freedom to decide what is to consider to be art. So simple. I think that's the bottom line. There are art snobs, people who have formal training or degrees in art or are known artists and things like that, and a lot of them look down their nose at the rest of us who dabble in it or don't have formal training or don't know the art history things in the background. It is still art. And everybody can have an opinion, and that's fine about it. But I don't think we should dismiss it, and that's what I think that Mel is saying here. You just don't dismiss it because it doesn't fit your closed definition of what art is. Art is so much more than just a paintbrush. And an interesting comment about the women. When I do tours, I talk about that in our art gallery, that because a couple of our founders, well actually major supporters that gave a lot of money and a lot of art to the art gallery when it first opened 50 years ago to really get it started. They were women. They trained with some of the Group of Seven, which if you're not from Canada, the Group of Seven are our foremost artists from the turn of the last century, the early 1900s, 1920s, that kind of thing. And these women were trained by them, and they moved into abstract art as well. And, but because they were women, even into the 1940s, the 1950s, women weren't considered to be as good as artists as men. It was very sexist. So yeah, women were allotted needlepoint, quilting. That was as far as they were allowed to get into art. They might have gone, if they were rich enough, they went to a finishing school or something and learned how to draw landscapes, a tree, an apple, I don't know, something like that. That wasn't taken seriously. Well, I hope it's taken seriously now, and it should be. So there are official terms for art done by artists who don't have formal training: outsider art, art brut, raw art, naive art, and so on. Which I didn't know that's new to me. There's also one very interesting magazine about this subject called Raw Vision Magazine. Sounds like porn. I have been reading few issues and I've been thinking about ordering it. They also have digital subscriptions available and have interesting articles about outsider art and artists in their website. And their website, she's listed here, is rawvision.com. There are also some museums dedicated for outsider art. For example, the Outsider Art Museum, Hermitage, Amsterdam. Intuit, the Center for Intuitive and Outsider Art. American Visionary Art Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. And maybe you should hint to your local art gallery and try to make them consider exhibition outsider art. I bet there are many talented outsiders in your area too. Well, they actually do some student art and things like that, and the senior citizens have an art show every year at the art gallery. But the problem with the art gallery is they plan literally several years ahead for what they're going to be showing. So they don't have a lot of flexibility as to what's coming up. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So anyways, thanks Mel for your reflections on that topic. I think they're worthwhile, and that's why I read them to everybody, because it's good food for thought. Okay, let's see what people have been saying here. Something about Walter has an evil laugh. He's just evil. Jennifer says, my great aunt was a botany teacher and painted watercolors for teaching purposes in the late 1800s. And Mel says, it's really interesting to see what art really is in the future. All today's young people and kids have lived with all kinds of visual arts. And Jennifer says that her great aunt, who was very well known in the California area, and she has a lot of the paintings. And then Mel says, and those same youngsters are the same people in future who will decide what is considered to be art, and I bet it won't be only art made by trained artists only. No, and tattoos, they're all covered in them now. And that's considered art, body art. And it's a big thing now. Personally, I'm not having anybody stick a needle full of ink into my body with it. All I know is that when all those young people that have all the tattoos and they get into the old age home, when they're our age and older, and those tattoos are going to look kind of sad then. There's nothing worse than saggy skin with a tattoo on it. Okay, so what's eating Walter? Walter? You were going to talk about the Canadian products,
yeah,
wine?
Canadian, like today when we went to the liquor store to buy some wine, you looked at a domestic wine, which is an inexpensive wine, what we consider here. And it was a little bit more, it was more expensive than some of the Australian wines or some of the other foreign wines that we have. So what annoys me is domestic products, which I like to support, are more expensive than imported products. And now I was reading this afternoon online with my research that they say that it's because of foreign wines are subsidized by their countries and Canadian wines are not subsidized by our country. And another reason was that some of the foreign producers have a much larger scale, that they can produce much more wine, so they can produce it more cheaply. I don't know why that is, but for some reason Canadian wines are a lot more expensive than some of the foreign brands that we buy.
And then they wonder why we don't buy Canadian. Well, why if I can get a decent wine that's $2 or $3 cheaper than a Canadian wine, why would I not buy the cheaper wine? Except this one that we're drinking right now. But
yeah, like it's especially if you're, if you're not making as much money as you used to,
true.
then
You're not spending it all on sewing machines.
I mean, there's a brand of wine I really like. It's a red wine. It's $20 a bottle. But there's another wine that I can buy that's similar to it, that tastes pretty similar, and it's half the price. So, and it happens to be a foreign wine. So,
but so much of this is not just in the wine industry here in our country.
Too.
You come here. Americans must love to come to Canada because one, their dollar's stronger than ours, so they're getting bargains all over the place, and so things are cheaper for them. Of course, mind you, we don't have the selection that Americans have in their stores.
No.
But why is it that everything that's made in our own country costs more than similar products made outside of our country? I thought there was supposed to be some protection to encourage us to buy our own things by making the outsiders put tariffs on the outside ones and make them more expensive. I thought,
Well, I don't know. I find that's annoying
yeah,
because I would like to buy I like to. I still buy a lot of Canadian wines and that, even though they're more expensive. But then I still buy uh, Australian and other wines that are cheaper. So
yeah.
I
So
mean, they would probably sell more to me if I could buy something a little bit more reasonably priced.
yeah, I mean, we're always surprised when we go to other places in the world too, and one, the availability of their wine and the beer is practically everywhere you go, whereas in Ontario, you basically, well, now we do have it in some select grocery stores, and it's a
But these
very,
grocery stores have to pay a big premium to carry them.
yeah,
So, and they have to pay, they have to sell them at the same price as the government run stores. They can't sell them for discount prices.
you know. Whereas you can go to the States and you go to those big liquor warehouses, things, and stuff's on sale all the time, like
Yeah, so.
ridiculously cheap, some
But
of it.
anyway, that's that. And then there's, like you said, there's other products too that you can buy here that are, I mean, they're quality here, but you can buy just as good quality from another company and that may not be Canadian, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, well, once Trump throws us all out of NAFTA, who knows what's going to happen there
Yeah.
with that. That'll be another story. So, you had another thing that was pissing you off.
Okay. So we go to the sewing store
Need wine for
yesterday,
this.
right? And I walk in, and there's a lady in there that I know, right? And I had seen for a while. And I said to her, "Hi, how you doing?" And this lady is a nice lady. She's a nice lady and everything else. Actually, I used to work with her. And she's someone I talked to a lot. We had common issues where our parents were aging, and I used to talk with her a lot and stuff like that. But the one problem with her, and even at work, and people didn't like her at work that much, is that she likes to be the center of attention. Okay? So we're in there buying a sewing machine, and she sticks her nose into what we were doing, and she wants to impress everybody that she's got this one kind of sewing machine, and then or another sewing machine, and like she's trying to take over the conversation, right?
To
And
the annoyance of the lady that owns the store that was telling me about the machine.
and the problem with her is that she's always, even at work, always wants to be center of attention. It's like she had to be the center of attention, and some people seem to be like that. Some people have to always be the center of attention. You can be in a meeting or something like that. Somebody always has to have the last word, and she was sort of like that. So, but she's a nice lady. She means well and everything else.
But I think
I think she just has one of those personalities.
yeah, well, she was getting kind of annoying, and I could see that the lady that was trying to show me, like, she's making a sale, okay, here was getting a little annoyed with her, and she didn't know. She said to me, kind of under her breath, do you know her? Is she a friend? And I said, well, Walter used to work with her and that, because I think this woman wanted to say something to her, but didn't want to offend her or us
Yeah.
in the meantime. So after she had showed me all this woman was still in the store. And with my kind of sense of humor, she's there blabbing on. She gets right in front of me by the machine, and I said to her, step away from my machine. Move away from the machine. And she's still, I says, no, really, I mean it. Leave now. And I do it in such a way that people assume I'm being sarcastic and funny, but they're never really quite sure. And I was sort of being funny, but I did kind of want her to move away. But anyways, I think that's maybe why I got offered the job there. Maybe she thought, oh, I could rein in some of the other customers that are like that. But, to bring it back to what you're saying about people having to be the center of attention and things, well, this goes right back to what we were saying about the problem with YouTube and these people who put up one video that goes viral doing stupid things. One of the stupidest things that we're doing lately, I just looked it up, YouTube supposedly is taking them all down. People are doing this Tide Pod challenge. The little pods for washing your clothes. And they say that they are poisonous.
Yeah,
These
of
people
course,
are eating them.
There's lye in them.
Yeah,
Like, that's what soap is.
well, these people are putting them in their mouth, biting into them, and then, of course, as soon as they hit the saliva, they foam up, and they're making videos of this. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Just in order to be the center of attention. Well, sure, die. Really, that'll remove the whole problem in the first place then, won't it? But I guess YouTube's taking those videos down of these
And they
stupid
should.
idiots, and they should. But people want to be the center. It's like Facebook. We have friends.
Well, it's like the people, I don't know, sorry, people that were doing selfies from dangerous areas, like up on tops of high buildings.
Like
and
that
things like
stupid, and I'm sorry for the expression, but the stupid bitch who a year ago climbed this scaffolding, actually a crane, that had a girder on it way up in the middle of Toronto. She climbs up there, then she can't get down, and she's up there like 50 stories or something, and they have to call EMS, and they have to get her down and bring her down. They take her to court, and she gets a $200 fine for doing it. Meanwhile, people are saying, yeah, but it cost the taxpayers thousands of dollars for the EMS and the paramedics and everybody that came out to rescue her in the whole bit. And she has no remorse. She didn't do it by mistake. She just wanted to have her 15 minutes of fame and more. So, really. But on Facebook, you get it too. I mean, we have friends that have to show what they're eating for dinner. Or what bottle of, well, never mind, bottle of wine they're drinking. Or where they are on vacation, or...
We do that.
Well, we do that. Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, no,
Yeah,
but
so maybe I shouldn't have talked
but,
about that
I
one.
mean, we know people that are on Facebook that, it's interesting because what they do is they show everything that they show on themselves, and they are fishing for comments for people that they know what they know, but they never look at anybody else's Facebook page.
Yeah, they're just that. Well, okay, you can be. All right, so some people could say that about us doing about my vlog and about us doing Stephen and Walter Live.
Yeah.
So, enough said, I guess. We'll see what other people are saying here. Let's see here. Anita says Americans need to drink to handle our government right now. Yeah, I can see that. And Jennifer says, Anita, Cherry, you aren't kidding. And Anita says, the Tide Pod's crazy. And Ilona says they're idiots. Yes, they are. Isn't that the craziest thing? People are so stupid. Yep. Oh my God, so crazy, says Jalen. Hi, Jalen. I can't believe I had to tell my kids not to eat laundry detergents. Yeah, I know, that's the other thing. They're doing this stuff, and little kids watch this and think it's okay. And they were saying, too, they look like candy. And they were comparing it in one video.
Well, yeah, actually, that apparently has been a problem right since day one from the way the pods were created.
Yeah.
Is that little kids almost look at them and they're colorful and,
candy.
And they're like candy.
Yeah, like, no. And Anita says there's no crime on stupidity. True.
I can see if a little kid eats it by accident because it's but an adult doing it. But I don't think they should be out. They should have child.
Yeah, they should have.
Lids and stuff.
Jalen says give them the drug talk, but I guess I had to add in don't eat laundry detergent. Yeah. Yeah, and they're saying too, like Ilona says, she should have been made to pay the whole cost. Yes, she should have.
Yeah,
she should have for that. And Sandy says I would have left her there. She would have to come down one way or the other. Yeah, but then there'd be clean up on aisle 3 if she slipped. And Bev says I'm mainly on Facebook because I belong to a lot of different craft groups: sewing doll, making paper crafts. I cannot see posting every 5 minutes what I'm doing. Yeah, I know. I don't really post a lot today. because I'm proud of my quilt, I actually took a picture of it and I posted it on Facebook, but I don't usually write anything on Facebook much anymore. Sometimes I make a comment to a friend or something about something specific, but I don't take pictures of what I'm having for dinner that night and talk about what wine I'm pairing it with. In fact, I had one friend, a colleague actually, that did that all the time, to the point it was so often, so frequent, I unfriended him. I just couldn't take it anymore because everything that he posted was about this he was eating and this wine that was going with this, and I just, oh, gagged me. Um, and Cindy says she doesn't even like using the pods.
Actually, I don't either.
And Sodaku, I hope I said that right. Anyone who want to bet someone will sue Tide for poisoning from the pods? Yeah, of course they will. I'm surprised they probably already have had lawsuits about them, even though they have a warning that says don't eat, but people don't read. So anyways, that was what was eating you this week. So what are we watching? Not a lot, but we just saw this really interesting television program. It's a Netflix one, and it's called End of the Effing World. And they spelled effing as F star 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 King, so you know the word they're using. Kind of
And
a
it's,
bizarre.
I think it's a British production.
Yeah, it's a bizarre little thing about a young guy who's like 17, 18 years old who likes to kill things and meets up with this strange girl in his school, and the two of them run away together and end up actually killing somebody. So they're murder things, and it's actually very intriguing. We binged watched that one
Yeah, one night.
in one night, and now we're watching a Canadian produced series that is actually on. That's not on Netflix.
It was a CBC production, which is Canadian Broadcasting
Yeah.
Company production, but it's on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. It's called Anne, but it's
Yeah.
based on Anne of Green Gables, which is a famous Canadian kids book written way back in the early 1900s by Lucy Maud Montgomery. Takes place on Prince Edward Island. The cinematography in it is wonderful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
If you really want to see what the east coast of Canada looks like, check this out. But it's really quite good. This character Anne
Is annoying.
is extremely annoying. But that's the character from the book. But it's pretty good. We haven't finished watching all of those yet. We haven't seen anything in terms of movies.
No,
we?
really.
No, we didn't.
No, I thought we did watch one, but I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was, so it couldn't have been too memorable, whatever that was. And on YouTube, you may have heard of this. It's called BuzzFeed, and it has a whole bunch of little sub playlists in it for some really bizarre things. It's sort of a pseudo journalistic kind of program, but they do all kinds of weird things. Like they have guys trying different things, like women's bras on, or getting makeovers, and then they've got other things where people eat weird things, or speaking of Tide Pods, well, they weren't eating Tide Pods, but that kind of stuff. It's kind of an amusing waste of time, is what I call it. But, you know, if there's nothing else on and you want something to laugh at or just to go like, huh? Check it out. So it's called BuzzFeed, Buzzfeed. It's kind of entertaining. I'm still reading. I gave up on the Donald Trump book, I think I told you. Biggest piece of garbage, that Fire and Fury I've ever written. Only thing worse than that is 50 Shades of Grey. Sorry if y'all liked it, girls, because it's a girl's book, but it is the most horribly written book of all time. And I'm saying that from the background of someone with a degree in English literature. It's horrible. It's stupid. Movie's kind of dumb too. Anyways, this one, Trump's book, is right up there with that one too, as far as I'm concerned. And what's cooking?
I don't know. Like 50 Shades of Grey might be more interesting than the Trump book.
Well, it's sex.
Yeah, at least it has sex in it.
Yeah, I suppose. But it's bizarre sex. And let's see, what's cooking? Nothing. What do we have for dinner?
I don't know yet.
We did have a request at some time
Yeah, I
to
know.
do sort of a sous vide cooking
I wasn't
demonstration.
in the mood for that tonight. So.
No, I wasn't either. Trouble with doing a cooking demonstration is if we want to do it live, we'd have to be live for like 4 hours.
Yeah, because it takes at least 2 hours to cook a steak, so.
And I don't think anybody's up for that. Uh, and the other way is I could do it as a separate video. Now that oh yes, that's something I forgot
Could
to
do a
mention.
separate video and edit it, I suppose.
Yeah, I could. But I have started a new playlist. I put up, you may have seen it today because I did it with my sewing machine. I call it Whatever. And the reason I say it like that is because when my niece was about 6 years old, 7 years old, she used to go around the house going, oh, whatever, to everything. So I thought I'm trying a little experiment here, okay? In this whole thing with YouTube, doing what they're doing and the whole bit with the number of subscribers and views and things like that. And like I said, it doesn't affect me. But I thought, doing a little social experiment here. If I put up some short little video clips, 5, 6 minutes in length, about an isolated little thing, like whatever's grabbing me at the time, I just wanted to see how many views I get from that, if people are really interested in that kind of thing or not. So I put the first one up. It's called Whatever Number One. And at the beginning of it, I do a little explanation of why I'm putting these up. And this one is about my sewing machine and my iron that goes pop. So I've noticed that I just put it up this afternoon, and I've noticed already I've got a few people already watching it. So I'm thinking I've got a whole bunch of other little ideas for quickies, like what's in Steven's drawers, whole series, where, yeah, don't go there. You already know what's in my drawers. You've been downstairs many times to look in them. But I've got things in my craft drawers that I haven't used in a long time, and like someone mentioned silks, for example. Forgot I even had them. So maybe I'll do a quickie 5-minute video, open up a drawer and go, whoa, what's this crap? And does it still work? Or what do I use it for? Or that kind of thing. Might be inspirational. I don't know. So whatever grabs me, I'm going to put these up and see what happens. Just another dimension to all of us here. So, what's coming up as we wrap this show up? Walter's going to turn 60. The next time you see us on Stephen and Walter Live, Walter will be 60 years old. His birthday is next Saturday. So, what do you want for your birthday? I don't know. Don't get me anything, is what he tells me. What do you want for your birthday?
I don't know. Don't give me anything.
Yes, see? Which is easy enough to do. Um,
I want to not be 60.
well, I can arrange that. Let's see. How about next Friday night, since your birthday's on Saturday, I just kill you. Or you're holding at 59. Yeah, okay, that could be fun. We'll put it on video. And where do you want to go for your birthday dinner?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is what I'm working with here, people. It's not a lot of input. And the problem is, if you don't get a lot of input and you go ahead and do something else, you will be told that that's not what you wanted to do. But he's not telling me what he wants to do.
The thing is, I don't know what to do.
Well, I know what we should do, but I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, fine. That's
You already know what I
wanna
said.
do.
Yeah, well, usually that's how it works with you, isn't it? I
Yeah,
just
well,
learned this expression. It makes things so much easier. Whatever you want, fine by me, because I know it's not going to make any difference. But anyway, it's like Australia. I have no idea where we're going. Well, I know where we're going. We're going to Australia. The details? Don't know.
I don't know yet either.
Well, you know them better than I do because you made them. So anyways, but it'll all work out. It's fine. So just let's see what's going on here, and then it's time to go bye-bye. So, Sudi Q says, young kid, I turned 65 in a few months. And happy birthday, Walter, from Jennifer. And woohoo, happy birthday, wishes, Walter, from Jody. And Sudi Q says happy birthday, Walter. And
Well,
Bev says happy birthday,
thank
Walter.
you.
And Anita says, Bev, do you watch Barb Owen or Dee Dee Willingham? Happy Walter. Cindy says happy Walter.
Thank you.
Okay. Jody says, do you need some type of travel gift, Walter?
No.
No. He's impossible to buy for. Ilona says, happy birthday, Walter. Mel says, happy last days when your age starts with 5, and happy birthday. And Anita says, happy birthday, Walter. And I did get Sudi Q's name right. And Jalen says, I'll be 34 this year. Happy birthday.
Oh,
Oh, you're just a
34.
puppy. 30. I don't even remember 34. In fact, I
That
think
was
I
the year
have
before we got this house.
I have underwear older than her. Really? Want to see it? I'm probably still wearing it. Came from Marks and Spencer's when we had Marks and Spencer's. That stuff won't rot for 1,000 years. And Sandy says happy birthday. And Brenda will be 64 in April. That's more
Oh,
like
good,
it.
I'm glad.
Vintage. Look at it as turning into a vintage. Because you know what they say, people? Women are like wine, like white wine. Turn to vinegar in 3 years. But men are like red wine. Just get better with age. Ooh, on that note, I think we should close off before people start reaching through the screen and oh my God, look at the messages are coming through like crazy. Okay, so and Catherine says on Sunday, February the 11th, she'll be 70.
Oh my goodness, 70.
Yeah, and I love
It's
how I
only
get
10 years away.
I love how I got a message here that said that it had been blocked. I could unblock it, and Cindy said "bitch," so I unblocked it. And I think she was talking to I don't know who she's talking to about that. I think it was "bitch" with a smile. And Bev turned
Where's your party
62. Yeah, where's your party at, bitch? Love you, bro. Okay, and Cindy and you. Okay, so people, anyways, it's great seeing you all. Well, not really seeing you, seeing your comments. You saw us. And yeah, so watch my vlog tomorrow. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the quilt, as if you haven't heard enough about my quilting, and other stuff. So we'll see you then, and we'll talk to you all next Sunday. Same time, same place. So see you then. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
All right.